All right, hey, Action Figure Minute fans, it's me, Justin, and this is your Action Figure Minute. Look what we got! We got a box! A big old box! We've got the Mythic Legions All-Star 6 all-in, hot off the truck, delivered yesterday. Didn't have time to get to it, but we're going to crack into it now. So I thought we'd do a quick unboxing video. I've got my handy dandy surgery scalpel here. Let's crack her open, see what we get. I thought I would do a video and just pull them out one by one, hold them up for the camera, give my quick thoughts, see who's my immediate favorites right out of the box. You know, with Mythic Legions, they all end up being favorites, but we'll see. Sometimes some of them blow me away. I believe it was Calazir, the Djinn out of the Poxus wave. Initially, I didn't have any real interest in the figure. I thought it was, you know, it's all right. All of the Four Horsemen Mythic Legions figures come out superb. But I didn't think I would really like it a lot. And damn, that figure was great. So there's a box within the box. So they treat you real good. The Four Horsemen want to make sure everything gets to you minty fresh. So we've got the box within the box here. So we got to do another slice-a-roo. I didn't just order an all-in. I ordered extras as well. I don't recall off the top of my head what extras I ordered. So we'll get to those when I get them. I'll post those in a haul video, you know, at a later date. But we're just unboxing this haul video today. So first thing I grab, right off the bat, this is the belt pack. And I think there's two belt packs. It doesn't really say which is which. So here's the other one. All right, so you can see once you look at them, this is the brown belt pack. We'll do a little flip around here, so you can see the back real quick. I don't recall there being this warning on there before. Warning, choking hazard, small parts, swallowing hazard, be careful, sharp edges, not for children under 3. Were those always on Mythic Legions boxes? I don't believe they are. Is Mythic Legions about to go big time? Are they about to show up in Walmart and Target everywhere? Or maybe I'm wrong and maybe I'm just missing it and forgetting it. And here's the black one. They should be identical. Just one set's black, one set's brown. I did buy extras of these. I do remember, to kind of zhuzh up my some other figures that I'm going to be making, or customs, or whatever it might be. And they were cheap when you were buying them, when they were doing the pre-order for this. So I figure a couple extras. Here's the next one I grabbed, the big beefcake. What was his name? Baradak. With all the glare that you can see there in the image. Baradak. He's got little tusk protectors on him in the package, so his tusks don't get scrape up the front clamshell, if you will. But he looks awesome. Very cool. Wow, the from just what I'm looking at first glances, the paint on his horns is really dark. I don't know how to describe the color. I'm not a color master, but like a burnt umber type looking. So it's really dark up to a lighter, you know, it's not your traditional skeletal bone by any means. And this is just a Legions builder and fodder bits that I just kind of thrown together. So nothing special going on with him. But yeah, very cool. Very cool. Set him aside over here. I think I'll also talk, like I said, which are my favorites out of this wave. I'm leaning Scally Bone Splitter, if I didn't say that already. I really liked, first of all, he's a dwarf build, so you can use some of those parts to customize and make other dwarves that'll be coming out in the future, or, you know, whatever you have in your backlog. Maybe you've got some Legion builders that you want to make into some customs. But Scally Bone Splitter is my favorite going into this, and we'll see if it still is coming out. We've got nothing. Cardboard protection, just a little filler in the package. Let's grab who's next. Oh, here we are, the Skeleton Raider. Now, the Skeleton Raider, you know, very cool. Kind of like a standard skeleton. Of course, he's not standard by any shape, by any means. He's got a new head, the new helmet with horns. I don't know, is that just a helmet or is it sculpted onto the head? I guess we'll have to figure it out when I open it up here. But you can make probably a ton of different builders out of this. Is that a new head or was that the same one that came on the Deluxe Gladiator as well? It's probably the same one that came on the Deluxe Gladiator build. You know, I can't recall, was this debuted before the standard new skeletal all bones Legion builder, or did that get shown off first? Either way, I probably ordered a couple extra of this guy just to do some fun customs and swaps with. It looks like, I don't know if that helmet's removable or not. I'm sure with heat, anything's changeable and removable. But he's cool. Scally Bone Splitter. Here he is. That's his name, right? Scally Bone Splitter. Yep. Very cool parts. I'm going to show them to you in a second. I'm admiring them right now. Yeah. You know, you can keep them, of course, as is, and then you can take that new blue tunic. It's not a new piece by any means, but still create kind of a blue regal dwarf out of it. That dwarf head up top. The secondary head, obviously you can use it as it's a skeleton, or you can just use it for a dwarf build. It's just very cool. Lots of parts in here. You can see it looks, I mean, he's got an extra neck peg in here. So he's got, oh, one's probably a dwarf peg and one's a standard skeletal head. Yep, that's what it is. So that's awesome. He comes with both neck pegs. It looks like the one that's on him is a dwarf peg. I'm sure it is. Just decked out figure. Another thing to discuss here really quick while I'm looking at him is in the past, all of the accessories used to be in baggies, but now they're kind of loaded up in a tray behind the figure, so they display a little differently. Cool. Not negative by any way, shape, or form. But it's just a difference we're here with this new wave. I don't think it was like that in the last wave, the Necronominus. I don't think they were doing that yet. So something they changed up here for All-Star 6. Got another filler, space filler to keep everything tight in the package. Looks like I got the horse next. What was the horse's name? Deacon. Deacon the horse. I'm pretty sure he belongs to Sir Enoch, which we'll find out here later. Deacon, you know, he's cool. He's a horse. Horses take up a ton of space on the shelf. I really like the soft goods. Tell you the truth, I like the first soft goods that they displayed, and then, you know, people had issues, and I understood those issues, but whatever. Moving on. Very cool. I would have liked him either way, both ways. I guess I'm happy to only have it one way, just so, again, I don't need any more horses. But I get them with the all-ins. All right, what was this guy's name? This is Thoras the Firstborn. And I believe Baradak is the baby, and he's a twin to Belualith. So Baradak, the baby, and then Thoras, he's the firstborn, the eldest child of Necronominus. So here he is. Let me take a look here. So Thoras, you can see he's got bags definitely behind him. He doesn't have the tray, and it looks like because he's got a ton of big accessories. And he might have soft goods in there as well. So if you're like doing like an on-card, I mean, with all the bags and everything he has behind him, it doesn't look as impressive probably as like Scally did. You know, if you're doing a carded collection, I don't do that. I open all of mine, as you know. Doesn't look as impressive in the packaging, but I'm sure once you gear him all up, he's going to look awesome. All right, moving on. Looks like I got two stuck together. There we go. There. The clamshells were interlocked. All right, this is Clavian. Clavian was one that I was voting for, campaigning for. That's the word I was looking for. Campaigning for very hard. He is one of the original Mythic Legions. He's one of the original waves that was never re-released. So he was a hard to get one. I'm not one to go back and pay, you know, a ton of extra money to get a figure. And the Four Horsemen, they're good to us. You know, whether they're re-releasing or they're creating the new second versions or 2.0 versions like we're going to be seeing with Otho sooner than later. Clavian wasn't one I was going to spend a lot of extra money on. So I was campaigning hard for him against Cullen Culp and his Blue Hagnon. I said it. And Blue Hagnon came out before this guy. I think, yeah, he's awesome. Can make yourself a naked Travis Bowles with pelvis parts and out of a Clavian, perhaps. Naked skeleton builder. So very cool to check Clavian off the list. All right, here's a great one too. I know I ordered several extra Gorthoks just because, you know, by today's standards of Mythic Legions figures, and this is why they're kind of not doing the all-star votings like they did in the past, is, you know, they've increased their quality, their sculpts, you know, everything that they're doing, they're moving forward. So that's why they're doing second versions of figures rather than, you know, going back to the well and just doing straight re-releases. But Gorthok here, he is one that I didn't have. He's kind of an important character in the storyline, in the mythos of Mythic Legions. And he's got just a plain body. So, you know, he's got some pink splotches on him. But more than anything, I mean, you can do customs out of this guy pretty well. So with that body style, I really like the blue armor that's on him. And I know I ordered several extras of him for army building, customizing, things of that sort. Okay, here's another one. Sir Ignatius. I never had Sir Ignatius. I was listening to Jeremy Gerard's Mythic Customs show, and he was saying that there's a difference between the 1.0, the original release, and this one. And I could bet, you know, I could tell when looking at this guy. I don't have the original in hand. I don't know what it looks like. But this one seems a bit yellowish in its pearlescence, and I'm going to bet that probably the other one was more white in its pearlescence. So if you're a completionist and you want that look, first of all, track down and make sure I'm not talking out of my ass, you know, see if you're fine with the one or if you need the other. But I think he looks fantastic. He looks great. You know, he makes me want to get a Sir Valgard, which I never got. Maybe I can make a custom out of one of these guys and some dwarf parts. I don't know. Have to look at that. But again, another one that I never had, didn't want to backtrack on, didn't want to spend a ton of money trying to get. So thank you, Four Horsemen, for doing these re-releases. Let's get the brown bull next, Asterion or Torion or whatever the brown one's name. He needs a second version, if nothing else. That's who I'm campaigning for hard next time. All right, now, Sir Enoch. Fantastic looking figure. This is one, just like the previous Templar. I can't remember his name. The one that came, was it Sir Baradak? That came in the previous Necronominus wave. I knew I would love in hand, and he blew me out. The previous wave, one that came in Necronominus, just blew me out of my mind. Just, wow. How awesome they are in hand, how movable, how posable, how customizable. This one's a little more, Enoch's a bit more ornate. If you look at his arms, especially the armor that's on his arms, it's painted and it's got a lot more detail in those upper arms. So it'll be very cool to check out Enoch, open him up, put him on Deacon, and have fun. He's super cool looking. Still think Scally's my favorite. And another one I campaigned hard for. What was this guy's name? both are Shadowhorn. And like Jeremy said on the Mythic Legions Mythic Customs channel, he doesn't really have a lot of paint apps going on. I mean, this is throwback all the way to one of the first waves of Mythic Legions. So very simple, very familiar. You know, something that if somebody really wanted to get him a long time ago, they could have customized him. They could have put the pieces together to do this. I didn't do it just because, again, I had faith that the Four Horsemen were going to be good to the fans, and you know, there's so many more people collecting the line than there were ever before. I figured that they would go back, and if any of you guys are missing something that recently came out, join the Cabal on Facebook. There's a lot of great people on there that could help you out as well, finding things. So a little segue there. But both are Shadowhorn. Super cool, super evil looking, menacing dwarf with his darker armor and his kind of dark bronze color, the highlights and the horns and the red beard. Love him. So happy to finally have him in my collection also. So if you couldn't tell, this whole wave, it's a home run for me. We'll go next here. We've got some bone wings. Who did the bone wings go for? Were they for anybody? I don't remember. I'm more for quantity on my shelf than for bigger things like this, so we'll see if I ever use these bone wings. Maybe it's for the Terpiculi. Probably that's what it was, customizing your Terpiculi, which I still have never opened one of those pop and swap beasts. Speaking of Terpiculi, we've got the Terpiculi skeletal. I guess it probably isn't just for Terpiculi, but I think that's kind of what it was intended for. And there's some zombie heads down here as well. But a head pack to customize your skeletons and Terpiculi. I heard that even this top head, this middle head, is a bonus head that was never advertised. So we're actually getting something extra in here. Apparently, you get a skeletal neck peg. Those feet at the bottom? Or are those just neck? Maybe there's neck pegs. Kind of hard to see. Can't really tell. But what do we got? We've got definitely a vampire, a regular skeleton head. Maybe that's an orc skeleton head. A horse-like head, an ape head, and a wolf head. And then the zombie heads at the bottom. Let me hold it up for you again so you can look at it instead of just me talking at you. Very cool. I need to crack open one of those Terpiculi sooner than later. Let me get Baradak out of the way here. Kind of been leaning on him this whole time. And last but not least, I know this is a lot of people's favorites. I think it was I think maybe Van Johnson posted on their Purple Gang Gang channel that he might be their favorite. I haven't watched the video yet, Van, sorry. So Sir Andrew is kind of like, if I believe I remember correctly, this is Joe Vesapolo of the studio's color design. I believe he painted it up, and I believe the name is a tribute to his son, I'm guessing named Andrew. And in hand, the bronze is really cool. The soft goods looks really nice. I don't know if he's going to be enough to knock off my Scally Boy. Where'd Scally Boy go? There he is. Scally just looks really good. I really like the blue on his torso piece. Very much pops. So that's the all-in. I guess we have to wait a bit for all the extras to come in, retailers' orders coming in. They did ship, from what I understand. They were kind of waiting to see the tariff situation, how that played out. They did ship, I think, if I remember correctly, I'm hearing August for a potential ETA for that next stock to make it on the slow boat from China to the U.S. For both people that ordered individuals or extras like I did, and also for the retailer order. So good news, they're on the way. They'll be here sooner than you think, sooner, than you believe, or just wait. You'll get them soon. Sometimes I'm at a loss for words. Anyway, who is your favorite? Let me know. Who did you order multiples of? Let me know. Did you like this video? Let me know. This has been your Action Figure Minute. Peace. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button.